Yes, hello guys, welcome on Europedia platform. I hope you all are fine and preparing well. So guys, as you all know, we are covering all previous year XC papers. Until now, we have covered all papers up to 2015. In the today's session, I am going to cover XC thermodynamics paper from the year 2014. And guys, like as we go to the previous year, like from 2021 to 14, the difficulty level is slightly going to decrease because nowadays they are asking very difficult questions. So from this paper you cannot predict ki, sir, these type of direct question I am going to get in the final examination, in the examination 2022. So the chances are very less because nowadays in XE, in mathematics technical part, they are asking you very good level of question. Okay, because they increase the difficulty of XE paper also. Why? Because lots of number of students nowadays they are appearing in that GATE XE. Okay, so you need to prepare accordingly. So let's start, but this paper is also very important because when you are covering all previous year, we need to get the idea what different type of basic question can be asked. So it is not like that ki they're not going to ask you these type of question. They are going to ask you, but not all. Okay, so suppose 30, 40, 50% of the part, maybe something like that. 50% maybe slightly difficult. In this paper, most of the question you will find on the conventional line, okay, on simple line, but some more difficult question also you need to practice. Chaliye, let us now let me put it here, question number 1 in front of you. So this is question number 1 for the today's session from the year 2014 and question number 155 in this series. So in first question he is asking you what is entropy. Guys, entropy is a property. Entropy क्या होती है? It is a property. What type of property, guys? Property. It is a property. Okay, it is a property. ठीक है, it's not a intensive property, it depends on the size mass. More is the size mass, more will be the entropy. So it is a kind of extensive property, but it is a property of a system and all properties are point function. जितनी भी properties होती हैं, सारी की सारी properties क्या होती है? Point function. They does not depend on the path. Okay, so entropy also, like for any particular process, suppose this is point 1, this is point 2, if you want to write the entropy change, so whether you are going via path A, whether you are going via path B, so S 1 to 2 via path A, that is equal to S 1 to 2 via path B. Okay, 1 to 2 via path B, both are same because entropy क्या है? Entropy is a point function, it is not a path function. Okay, all properties are what? All properties are point function, but heat and work, they are not properties and they are also not the point function, they are the path function. So for this question the right answer is what? Point function. Chaliye, let us move to next question. Question number 156 in this particular series. There is a small container which has a gas at high pressure. It is placed in an evacuated space. Okay, so there is a container which is having some gas at high pressure. It is placed in the evacuated space. If the container is punctured, then what is the work done? Guys, it is a kind of free expansion. It is a case of free expansion. Case of free expansion. The gas is expanding. The gas is going to expand against vacuum. Expansion. मैं सही कर देता हूं यहां पे भी. It is the expansion against vacuum. Expansion against vacuum. Okay, so in this expansion against vacuum, the work is what? The work is zero. There is no work transfer. No work transfer. Okay, W equal to 0. Chaliye, so option C is the right answer for this question. Let us now move to question number 157. A molecular weight of a mixture is 38.4 gram per mole. This is the molecular weight of the mixture. Suppose Me, this is equivalent molecular weight or molecular weight of the mixture which is given to us 38.4. Okay, the mixture is composed of methane and carbon dioxide. The atomic weights of the carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, these are given to us. Respectively, is asking you the mole fraction of methane and mole fraction of the carbon dioxide. He is asking you mole fraction of methane and mole fraction of carbon dioxide. Both simple, direct question है, 1 marks में, and easily you can answer. Guys, if you are having a mixture of two, substances, here you are having two methane and carbon dioxide, homogeneous mixture. So you can write it as 38.8. This is the equivalent molecular weight. So this is nothing but x1 mole fraction of, suppose this carbon dioxide, or let me write it as mole fraction of methane. So mole fraction of methane into molecular weight of methane, okay, plus mole fraction of carbon dioxide into molecular weight of carbon dioxide, something like this. You can frame a very simple equation, Me equivalent molecular weight. Okay, suppose you are having a mixture of pure substances, so for any mixture of pure substances, the equivalent molecular weight, that is equal to mole fraction. This is mole fraction. You can write it as N1 by N equivalent also, N1 by N total. N1 number of moles of this methane divided by N total, number of moles of carbon dioxide divided by N total. So this is actually a mole fraction. X mole fraction, this. So from this easily you can frame a equation 38.4, this is equal to this. Suppose we want to find out, I am writing it this as x1. For methane I am writing it as x1. What is the molecular weight for this methane? CH4. So for carbon it is 12. Okay, for hydrogen it is 1. So 4 plus 12 you will have 16. Okay, plus what is the molecular weight of carbon dioxide, guys? For carbon again it is 12, for oxygen it is 16, but you are having CO2. So 16 multiplied by 2 you will have 32, 32 plus 12 you will have 44. So x2 multiplied by 44. So this is equation number 1. This is the equation number 1 we are having. Okay, we can write one more equation, mole fraction of the methane plus mole fraction of carbon dioxide, that is equal to 1, because they are constituting the entire mixture. So the number of moles, you can write it as N1 by N total plus N2 by N total. So N total, if you will take LCM, N1 plus N2, that is equal to N total only. So the mole fraction of 1 plus mole fraction of 2, that is equal to 1. This is another equation. So two unknown, two equation, and easily you can solve this equation using this. So from this, if I will replace this x1 equal to 1 minus x2, so if you will put this value here, 38.4, this is equal to 1 minus x2 into 16 plus 44 x2. Okay, so let me further solve this. 38.4, this is equal to 16 minus 16 x2 plus 44 x2. Okay, so you will get 38.4 minus 16 equal to, इसको इसमें से घटाएंगे, you will get 28 x2. Okay, and from this easily you will get x2, mole fraction of what? x2 किसके लिए? हमारे लिए कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड के लिए. So for carbon dioxide you will get 38.4 divided by 28, so you will get this 38.4 minus 16 divided by 28, you will get 0.8. So 0.8 is the mole fraction for carbon dioxide, and for this methane you will get 0.2. Why? Because for methane it will be 1 minus this. So because methane we are writing it for 1, so x1 you will get x1 equal to 1 minus x2, so this will come out to 0.2. So option A क्या हो जाएगा बच्चों? This will be our right answer. Option A will be our right answer. For methane the mole fraction is 0.2, and for carbon dioxide the mole fraction is 0.8. You can check your answer. Let me check my also, so that we will be able to match all the answers. So yes, 0.2, 0.8, option A is the right answer for this question. चलिए, I hope this is very clear to all of you. बहुत simple question है. If you are clear with this formula, then direct simplification you need to carry out and you will get the answer. Let us now move to next question, guys. Question number 158 in this series. A system undergoes a change from state 1 to 2. During the process, the change in internal energy. So there is a system which is going from state 1 to 2. This is state 1. This is state 2. And during that state change 1 to 2, the change in internal energy is delta U. So delta U is the change in internal energy from 1 to 2. So the change in internal energy of the system when executing the cycle 1 to 1. So if you will execute a cycle, something like this, if you will execute a cycle, so the change in internal energy will become 0. Why? Because in a complete cycle, the change in any property will be 0. In a complete cycle, the change in any property, is 0. Any property, whether it is internal energy, whether it is entropy, temperature, pressure, volume, anything, PRO, PER, TY, any property is 0. So we can write here what? Option C as the right answer. Option C will be our right answer for this question. Let us now move to, guys, next question, question number 159. Which of the following plot represent a line joining two states with the same dew point temperature? on the cyclometric chart. So guys, you know, on cyclometric chart, horizontal lines, they are going to represent the what? Dew point temperature. So these are the horizontal lines. Okay, so guys, you know, suppose if you are having two states, suppose this is state 1, this is state 2, so these are the state. Okay, and if you will extend here a horizontal line here, so such that it will meet here, so this particular temperature is going to give us dpt, dew point temperature. This is our saturation line where the relative humidity is 100%. Okay, so for any different states on the same horizontal line, they are going to represent what? They are going to represent same dpt, because on a horizontal line dpt is constant. These are all are the dpt lines. Okay, so for one of the option which is actually matching, that is option D, because in D you are having, if you will take two states, you will have same dpt. So dpt at 1, dpt at 2, that will be same. But here if you will take, like suppose here if you will extend, here if you will extend, you will have different dpt value. Here also if you will extend, you will have different dpt value. Here also if you will extend, you will have different dpt value, because horizontal line they are going to give you the same dpt. So only D is the right answer, and we can go with this. Let us now move to next question, guys. Question number 160. The efficiency of a reversible engine operating between two temperature is this. So there is a reversible engine, and reversible engine efficiency is nothing but 1 minus T lower by T higher. So this is given to us 40% means 0.4. So you can write it here, T lower by T higher equal to 0.6. Okay, and from this you can write T higher by T lower equal to what? This is 1 by 0.6. So you can write it as 10 by 6. You can write it as 10 by 6. Okay, and you know guys, here he is asking you what is the COP of the reversible refrigerator. So COP of a refrigerator, reversible refrigerator, this is nothing but T lower by T higher minus T lower. So from this you can write it as 1 by T higher by T lower minus 1. So if you put this value here, so 1 by 10 by 6 minus 1. Solving this, you will get COP of reversible refrigerator. Reversible refrigerator. So 1 by 10 by 6 minus 1. So 6 by what? You will get 10 minus 6, you will get 4. So it will be 1.5. 1.5 you are going to get. Okay, so option C, option A is the right answer, guys. Option A, 1.5 is the right answer for this question. Very simple, direct question. And I hope this is very clear to all of you guys. बहुत simple question है बच्चों. Most of the questions are very simple, direct. Let us now move to next question. Question number 161. Question number 161. He is asking you for a superheated vapor that cannot be approximated as an ideal gas. So there is a superheated vapor which we cannot approximate as an ideal gas. The change in the specific internal energy. He is asking you what is the change in specific internal energy. So directly actually you need to remember option C is the right answer. But if you want to write, you know, you can write it as internal energy as a function of temperature and volume. Okay, so here if you write du, total derivative, because this is a property, so du equal to del u by del t at constant v dt plus del u by del v at constant t dv. You can write du something like this. Okay, and guys, this is nothing but what? This is nothing but what? This is Cp. This quantity is nothing but Cv. So du, you can write it as Cv dt plus del u by del t, del u by del v at constant t dv. This is how you can write change in internal energy for a real gas. This is going to give change in internal energy, change in internal energy for a real gas, for a real gas. Okay, and guys, you know, this particular quantity will be 0 for a ideal gas. So this quantity, because you know du del u by del v at constant t, this will be 0 for what, guys? For a ideal gas. For a ideal gas. Why? Because for a ideal gas the change in internal energy is independent of volume. For a ideal gas, the change in internal energy is independent of volume. Okay, so if it is independent of volume, so this term will be 0 for a ideal gas, but for a real gas this term is going to exist. So you can write it here, for a real gas, du equal to CVdT plus del u by del v at constant T dV. So you need to directly remember this relationship. Similarly, you can remember enthalpy also, change in enthalpy for a real gas. What is change in enthalpy for an ideal gas? Change in enthalpy for an ideal gas is CPdT, change in internal energy for an ideal gas is CVdT, but this is how you can write change in internal energy for a real gas. Same with enthalpy you can write. Earlier also we discussed all these things. Chaliye, let us now move to next question. The minimum and maximum volumes in an air standard Otto cycle. There is an air standard Otto cycle, the minimum and maximum volume in an air standard Otto cycle are, अच्छा given है, मैं यहाँ लिख देता हूँ yes. So the minimum and maximum volume are 100 and 800 centimeter. So V minimum means this is clearance volume, Vc, this is given to us 100. V maximum means this is V total volume is given to us 100. So clearance compression ratio is nothing but total volume divided by clearance volume. So 800 divided by what, 100, this is the compression ratio. 8 is the compression ratio for the given case. So indirectly he is giving you the compression ratio. He is asking you the thermal efficiency of the Otto cycle. So this is nothing but 1 by 1 minus r ki power gamma minus 1. So here if you write 1 by 1 by 8 ki power gamma is 1.4 for air, because he is asking you air standard Otto cycle. So for air, gamma equal to 1.4. For monoatomic gases, gamma equal to 1.67. For exhaust gases, it is equal to gamma equal to 1.33. So if you solve this, guys, you will directly get the efficiency. Let me solve it for you guys. So 8 power 0.4, 1 divided by this, 1 minus this, you will get efficiency 56.47. Option A is the right answer for this. You will get efficiency 0.5647 or 56.47%. Both simple, direct question hai bacho. I hope this is very clear to all of you. Let us now move to next question, guys. Question number 163. Guys, I am solving these very directly. If you want to practice, you can pause the video, like as I am you can say moving to the next question, you can pause the video and you can try to answer that question before I am answering. Okay, if you are unable to answer any question, then you can watch the solution part also, detailed solution. So next question, guys, at a standard saturation temperature, T saturation, the difference in the entropy between saturated state, vapor and liquid is this. How you can express the change in entropy between the vapor? Suppose this is T saturation, this particular temperature is T saturation, this is entropy of the saturated vapor Sg, this is entropy of the saturated liquid Sf, and he is asking you how we can write Sg minus Sf. So Sg minus Sf is nothing but Hfg by T saturation. T saturation, you know, ds equal to dq by T. So for a phase change process, ds equal to Sg minus Sf and heat transfer equal to Hg minus Hf, where T is the temperature of the phase change, which is T saturation. Okay, so you can write Sg minus Sf as Hf by T saturation means Hg minus Hf by T saturation. So option B is the right answer. Hg minus Hf divided by T saturation. तो जल्दी में इस तरह का आंसर मत कर देना, Hf minus Hg by T saturation, गलत हो जाएगा बच्चों. He is asking you the entropy of the saturated vapor and entropy of the saturated liquid can be expressed as the difference. So it is Hg minus Hf divided by T saturation. चलिए, let us now move to next question. Okay, now we are moving to the 2 marks question, guys. This is first 2 marks question in front of us. Okay, a gas in a closed system is compressed reversibly from an initial volume of 0.2 meter cube to 0.1 meter cube at a constant pressure of 3 bar. During the process, there was a heat transfer of 50 kilojoule from the gas. So 50 kilojoule is the heat transfer from the gas, means heat transfer dq equal to minus 50 kilojoule. Okay, the change in internal energy. So you know, guys, using first law of thermodynamics for a closed system, using first law of thermodynamics for a closed system, we can write here dq equal to du plus dw. So what is dq guys? Dq here it is minus 50, du we want to find out, dw is minus also negative. Why? Because here you are compressing the gas, means the work is done on the system at a constant pressure. You are compressing a gas at a constant pressure. So pressure is constant. So in a closed system, is pressure is constant, you can write work equal to P V2 minus V1. Okay, so actually here you can write it as final volume minus initial volume. Automatically you will get the negative work. Okay, automatically if you write it as V final, which is 0.1, V initial is the 0.2, you will get negative work. Okay, but already when I placed here negative sign, so inside you can write it as initial volume minus final volume. Okay, something like this. But if you are interested to write it as dW only, then you can write it as something like this only. But then inside you need to write the final volume minus initial volume, then automatically you will get this in negative. Okay, so chaliye, let us solve this. So du minus the pressure is 3 bar, so you can write it as 300 kilopascal. This is 0.1. So solving this, you will get this 30 minus 50 equal to du minus 30 kilojoule. So solving this further, you will get du equal to minus 50 plus 30, you will get minus 20 kilojoule. So internal energy is going to decrease by 20 kilojoule. Internal energy is going to decrease by minus 20 kilojoule, means option D is the right answer for this. Option D क्या हो जाएगा बच्चों? This will be the right answer for this question. Let us now move to next question, question number 165. 165 in this series, in a closed rigid vessel, the air is initially at a pressure of this. This is the initial pressure, guys. This is the initial volume and this is the initial temperature. A stirrer is supplied this much of work. So work transfer in this process, W equal to minus 100 kilojoule, because work is done on the system. So gas inside this chamber, this is our system. This is our system, guys. The gas inside this is our system. Okay, so work is done on the system, that's why I am writing it as minus. While 20 kilojoule of heat is lost, again this is heat going out, so the heat transfer is equal to minus 20 kilojoule. You can write it as Q only. So heat transfer Q equal to minus 20 kilojoule. He's asking you the final temperature. So guys, again very similar kind of question. dq equal to du plus dw. How much is the heat transfer? Minus 20. How much is this? We want to find out. What is the work transfer? This is minus 100. Okay, so du will be 80 kilojoule. du will be 80 kilojoule. This is a closed container, guys, closed rigid container. So for an ideal gas in a closed rigid container, du, and even for directly you can write du, change in internal energy for an ideal gas. Change in internal energy for an ideal gas, because here he mentioned air is inside the chamber in this container, and we can consider air as an ideal gas. So for air as an ideal gas, we can write du equal to mCv dt. mCv dt. dt we want to find out, initial temperature we know, Cv also we know for the air, which is 0.718. Mass we don't know, and mass you are going to get from this inputs. So PV, ideal gas equation, PV equal to mRT. So the mass inside this equal to initial pressure which is 0.3 megapascal. So 0.3 into 10 to the power 3 into volume. Volume is this 0.1, which is fixed. 0.1 divided by R. So for air, R is 0.287 into the initial temperature, which is 300. So you will get mass inside this chamber. Very easily, after simplification, you will get mass. So let me write it here. 0.3 multiply by 1000 multiply by 0.1 divided by 0.287 divided by 300. So you will get mass 0.3, 0.3484 kg. 34843 kg. Okay, and this mass if you will put it here, guys, अगर मैं इस mass को यहाँ put कर देता हूँ, this is the mass 0.34843, Cv is 0.718, dt is T final. We want to find out T initial is 300. Easily after solving you will get this final temperature. So let me solve it for you guys. Multiply by 0.718 and this term 80 you can divide by this, and then T final will be plus 300. So you will get this final temperature close to 619.77 degrees Celsius, which is very close to 620 degrees Celsius. Okay, so you can go with this answer, option D as the right answer. You can go 620.2. this is the final temperature. Let us see, like Kelvin में पूछ रहा है आपसे, आपसे पूछ रहा है केल्विन में, यस दिस एक्चुअली लेट मी राइट इट एज इन केल्विन ओनली बिकॉज दिस इज द टेम्परेचर यू आर गोइंग टू गेट इन केल्विन ओनली. So this is the temperature in Kelvin. Why? Because this is in Kelvin. This is 300 Kelvin. So this final temperature will also be in Kelvin. So this is the answer. Close to T final is close to 620 Kelvin, not in degree Celsius. So T final temperature is 620 Kelvin. Okay, degree Celsius. He asked you in degree Kelvin only. But if you want to find out in degree Celsius, then you need to subtract 273 from this. Then you will get answer in degree Celsius also. So option D क्या हो जाएगा बच्चों? This is the right answer for this question. I hope this is very clear to all. Please check and you can mention, you can match your answer also. चलिए, let us now move to question number 166 in this series. There is a reservoir, reversible heat engine. There is a reversible heat engine E. So E is a reversible heat engine which is actually operating between three thermal energy reservoir. With the temperature as shown in figure, these are the three thermal reservoir, reservoir 1, reservoir 2 and reservoir T3. From reservoir 1, reservoir 2 it is taking some heat and reservoir 3 it is rejecting. It is given to us Q1 equal to Q2, then he is asking you the thermal efficiency of the engine. Thermal efficiency of the engine. So guys, you know thermal efficiency of any heat engine is nothing but W net divided by heat supplied. So you can write it as Q net divided by heat supplied. Okay. So this you can write it as 1 minus Q rejection by heat supplied. Yes or no? So what is rejection in this case, guys? In this case, what is the rejection? Rejection is Q3. And what is heat supplied? Heat supplied is Q1 plus Q2. But as it is given to us, both Q1 and Q2 are same. So I can write this efficiency as 1 minus Q3 by 2 Q1. Why? Because Q1 equal to Q2. Q1 is equal to Q2. Okay, so now you need to find out this ratio. If you are able to find out this ratio Q3 by Q1, you will be easily able to solve this problem. And from where you will get this, guys? Because it is very clearly given to us, it is a reversible heat engine. So for any reversible heat engine, cyclic integration of dq by t that is equal to 0. Closest inequality, if you will apply cyclic integration or thermodynamic temperature scale Q1 T1, Q1 cyclic integration of Q by T that is equal to 0 for any reversible cycle. So here, because this is a heat addition, you can write it as Q1 by T1, this is positive, this is Q2 by T2, this is also positive, minus Q3 by T3, this is negative. Why? Because these are the heat addition, so these are positive, heat added to the system is positive, rejected by the system is negative. So here further you can write it as, because Q1 you can take common, Q1 into 1 by T1 plus 1 by T2. Why? Because Q1 equal to Q2, these two are same, so I can easily take Q1 common. This is equal to Q3 by T3. Solving this further, you will get Q3 by Q1, Q3 by Q1 equal to T3 into 1 by T1 plus 1 by T2. So let me put all the values so that we will get this answer. So T3 is 300 Kelvin into 1 by T1 is 1200 Kelvin plus T2 is 600 Kelvin. Okay, so let me simplify this. Q3 by Q1, this is equal to 300. From this I can take 600 common, so inside you will get 1 by 2 plus 1, so this is 300 by 600 into 3 by 2. Okay, so if you will further solve, you will get a 3 by 4. So this term you are going to get 3 by 4. Okay, Q3 by Q1 you are getting 3 by 4. So now if you will put this value here, efficiency of heat engine is equal to 1 minus 1 by 2 into Q3 by Q1, and we got the answer for this Q3 by Q1, which is nothing but 3 by 4. So this is 1 by 3 by 8. So the efficiency is 5 by 8, which is nothing but what? इसको इस पे करोगे 0.625. So you will get 0.625. 62.5% or 0.625 is the answer for this question. So if you will solve, you will get option C as the right answer. Okay, बहुत simple question है, थोड़ा सा calculation करना पड़ेगा, but the concept is very direct and simple. So he asked you the efficiency of a heat engine. We know the basic expression for the efficiency of a heat engine. So this is the case we have used efficiency of a heat engine, and solving this we got the answer for the efficiency. Okay, I hope this is very clear to all of you guys. Let us now move to next question, guys. Question number 167. There is a metal block of mass 25 kg at 300 Kelvin. So एक metal block है हमारे पास. This is a metal block 25 kg का 300 Kelvin. 25 kg 300 Kelvin. This is a metal block. This is immersed in an infinitely large nitrogen bath. So there is an infinitely large nitrogen bath. Okay, this bath, nitrogen bath, this is at a temperature 77 degrees Celsius because it is an infinitely large reservoir. So it is at a constant temperature. Reservoir temperature is not going to change because it is of infinite thermal capacity. So it is a thermal reservoir which is having infinite thermal capacity. So its temperature is not going to change even if you immerse this metal block in this. Okay, which is at a low temperature. So the system comprises of block and nitrogen attains thermal equilibrium. So when you will immerse this in this, so they are going to attain some kind of final temperature. So and the average specific heat of the metal is given. He is asking you the entropy generation. What is the entropy generation in this case? Very typical question. Many times, guys, you know, earlier we solved these type of question. So guys, you know, entropy generation is nothing but entropy change of system plus surrounding. So what is mentioned, like the system comprising of block and liquid nitrogen. System दोनों को ही बोल रहे हैं कि system है. So in that case, if both are the system, then you can say if they are only interacting the heat, then you can say the entropy change of the surrounding will be what? It will be zero. So entropy change of system means entropy change for the block plus entropy change for the reservoir means this tank. Okay. So for block, the entropy change will be MC ln T final by T initial. Okay, for the block, for the reservoir, it will be what? It will be heat transfer, heat added divided by the temperature of the reservoir. Because you are adding heat here, so if heat is added into this, so its entropy is also going to increase. For a reservoir, thermal energy reservoir, for a sink, the entropy is heat addition into the sink divided by sink temperature. And for a source, the supplier of energy, the entropy is going to decrease. But here you are supplying the energy, so entropy is going to increase. Q by T, Q will be positive here. Okay, so if you will solve this, MC ln, what is the mass? Mass of this block, which is given to us 25. The C is given to us 0.45 kilojoule per kg. Yes, and ln of T final. What is the final temperature, guys? For the metal block, final temperature will be 77 because this is a thermal energy reservoir. Finally, this metal block is going to attain this temperature only. Okay, so this is T final. What is the initial temperature? It is 300 plus. What is heat transfer, guys? Heat transfer will be MC dt. MC dt. So I can write it as heat transfer. मैं यहाँ लिख देता हूँ. Heat transfer Q equal to MC dt. How much heat you are going to get? 25 into the specific heat, which is 0.45, the change in temperature, which is 300 minus 77, you will get heat added. Okay, so let me solve it here. So 25 multiply by 0.45 multiply by 300 minus 77, you will get this value 2508.75 kilojoule. This is the amount of heat you are adding. So if you will take it here, this value 2508.75 divided by temperature of the reservoir, which is 77. So let me solve it for you guys so that you will get the exact answer. 77 divided by 300, and if you will take ln of this, multiply by 0.45 multiply by 25. So this value you are going to get in negative, minus 15.299 kilojoule per Kelvin. So this is the entropy change for the metal block. For the metal block, entropy is going to decrease. Okay, but for the reservoir, entropy is going to increase. So from this you can write 2508.75 divided by 77. You will get 32.58116. So इसमें से अगर मैं इसको subtract कर देता हूँ minus 15.299, you will get a 17 point entropy generation in this process. You will get a 17.282 kilojoule per Kelvin. Entropy generation will always be positive for any irreversible process. For this also we are getting the entropy change positive, which is 17.282. So let us now match the options. Yes, option A is exactly matching. So this is the right answer for this question. बहुत simple direct question है, and guys you need to be very much familiar, very much very comfortable solving these type of question, because these are very direct simple question. Okay, I hope this is very clear. Let us now move to next question, question number 168. So for a gas obeying the equation P plus A by V square into V equal to RT, the values of the critical volume and the critical temperature are given. The value of the gas constant is also given to us, 250 joule per kg Kelvin. Then he is asking you the value of the constant A. Guys, you know these kind of equation actually we use for the real gas equation. For ideal gas we use PV equal to RT. This is the ideal gas equation. Ideal gas equation. Ideal gas equation. So where V is the specific volume, I am writing this V as the specific volume. And you know guys, this kind of equation P plus A by V square into V minus B equal to RT, this is known as van der Waals equation. Van der Waals equation. Okay, van der Waals equation for real gas. For real gas. Okay, in this equation, you know, this term is introduced to take into consideration the force of attraction between the gas molecule, and this term B, this is introduced to take into consideration the volume of the gas molecule, because for ideal gas generally we neglect the intermolecular force of attraction between the gas molecule. We consider there is no such intermolecular force of attraction between the molecules of a ideal gas. Okay, and also they are the pointed mass with a negligible volume for ideal gas. But for real gas, the masses, the molecules, they are having some volume also. So for that we consider some constant B minus B to consider the volume of the gas molecule, and this particular term we consider just to consider the force of attraction between the gas molecule. Okay, but here this term is B is not given, so this equation which is given to us is P plus A by V square into V equal to RT. Okay, this is the equation which is given to us. So for this equation he is asking you the constant A. बहुत सिंपल क्वेश्चन है बच्चों. Actually you know these constant we find out using critical isothermal conditions only. इनको हम critical isothermal condition से निकालते हैं. Both A and B. Both A and B actually we obtain using critical isothermal condition. Okay, critical isothermal condition. So it is a kind of critical isotherm on PV diagram. On PV diagram, this is the line which is going to represent constant temperature, isothermal temperature. This is the point which is known as a critical point. Okay, so here the temperature which you are going to get, this is T critical. The volume which you are going to get, that is known as V critical, specific volume critical. So this is the point which is known as a critical point. Okay, so using this condition on this PV diagram, if you will take del P by del V at T critical, temperature equal to T critical, this is equal to 0. And similarly, because this is a unique point you are going to get, it is not like a maxima or minima, this is a unique point. So another condition you are having del 2P by del V square at temperature T equal to T critical, this is equal to 0. So these are the condition, and using these condition only we obtain the values of these constant A and B. So we know the condition, the equation is given to us, the constant are also given to us. Easily you will get the answer. So let me solve it for you guys. So if I will simplify this equation, PV plus A by V equal to RT. So further simplification, you will get PV equal to RT minus A by V, or solving this you will get P equal to RT by V minus A by V square. Now what you need to do is simply you need to differentiate this. इसको आपको क्या करना पड़ेगा? Differentiate करना पड़ेगा. So yes, so you can write it as del P by del V into RT. This is actually V की power -1. ये क्या आ जाएगा? V की power -1. So -1 into V की power -1 you will get minus RT by V square. Okay, minus RT by V square. Here also, because this is minus, and if you will take it this upside, you will get -2. So minus, if you will take it here, you will get 2A, -2 minus 1, you will get -3. So this will come out. Okay, very simple thing I am carrying out here. Okay, so this is equal to 0. This is the condition, del 2 by del P, this is equal to 0. At what? At what, guys? If I will write this temperature as T critical, if I will write this volume as V critical. So here I am not writing this as 0. So first let me simplify this. So if I will write this as 0, so this is minus R T critical by V critical square plus 2A by V critical cube. So let me simplify this so that we will get the value of A. Okay, so 2A by V critical cube, this is equal to R T critical by V critical square. So simplifying this term, this will cancel out, you will get A equal to RT critical into V critical divided by 2. This is the final formula, final answer you are going to get. Now you need to put all the values. हर value आपको given put करना बच्चों. He has given you the data. He has given you the T critical. The T critical is 100 degrees Celsius. Okay. But you need to put this in Kelvin. Kelvin में put करना पड़ेगा 100 degree Celsius, joule per kg Kelvin. So this is also given to us. The critical volume 0.004. And R critical is also given to us 250 joule per kg Kelvin. All SI unit guys we need to use because he asked you A in this Newton meter की power 4 by kg square. You can match the unit very easily. Okay, चलिए. So let me put it here all the values. So R is given to us 250. The temperature is 200 plus 273. It is 373. The V critical is 0.004 divided by 2. Let me check the critical volume value 0.004 है ना. So it is 0.004. Yes, exact. So let me solve guys so that we will get the final answer for the value A. 250 multiplied by 373 multiplied by 0.004 divided by 2, you will get A 186. A you are going to get 186.5. This is a constant value guys we are going to get. All units will be in the SI units. 186.5. So option C क्या हो जाएगा बच्चों? This is the right answer for this question. Let me also match my answer. चलिए. So this is the answer guys we are getting for this question number 168. Option C we are getting 186.5. The exact answer we are getting for this question. Okay. चलिए guys, let us now move to next question. Question number 169. Okay guys, so this is next question in front of you, question number 169. Let me zoom it for you. Okay, so this is the question. A rigid closed vessel is initially filled with 2 kg of water, which is actually a mixture of saturated liquid and saturated vapor. So there is a water in a particular container which is actually a mixture of saturated liquid and vapor, means we are having some kind of the condition is there in the wet region. Okay, we are having a mixture. Okay, not a pure water or pure gas. This is the condition guys. At this pressure is 2 bar, the vessel is placed in an oven. Guys, these things are very important. Closed rigid vessel, so there is a rigid vessel. We are having saturated liquid and saturated vapor, means we are in the wet region. This is the second point which is very important for us. The vessel is placed on the oven which heats the mixture to critical state. So initial state we don't know, but final state we know. The final state is the critical state guys. The final state is the critical state. That idea also we are getting from this question. Using the saturated and critical property value from the table given below, how much is the heat supplied? How much is the heat transferred in this process guys? Is asking you heat transferred in this process 1 to 2. So guys, if I will show this process on a PV diagram, so here if I will take the pressure versus volume diagram, something like this. So suppose this is pressure and you are having here volume, and on PV diagram if you will draw the plot something like this, so you will have a curve. So this is the initial condition guys, somewhere here wet region, this is the initial condition, and this is the final condition guys, critical point, this is the final condition, and the process is going something like this, 1 to 2. Why at constant volume? Because we are having rigid container, so in rigid container volume is going to remain constant. So that idea also we are having, so volume is constant. Okay, so he is asking you in this case heat transfer. So as we know guys, this is a heat transfer in a closed container, rigid closed container. So heat transfer is nothing but this is equal to change in internal energy. Heat transfer equal to change in internal energy. So guys, if you are want to find out this heat transfer, simply you need to find out the change in internal energy, means U2 minus U1, or you can write it as UC minus U1 by why? Because this 2 point is the critical point. So this is already known to us, UC. From the table given, UC we already know 2029.6 minus U1. Okay, so if you are able to find out U1, you will get your answer. Okay, these are actually small terms because he is asking you heat transfer, kilojoule per kg. From this actually initially we are going to get this in kilojoule per kg. So let me write it somewhere here. So U2 minus U1 multiply by mass. So mass is 2 kg. So mass is also going to remain close, same constant in a closed container. So multiply by 2, you will get the heat transfer. So guys, from where you will get U1? U1 kahan se aayega? U1 is in the wet region, and U1 is nothing but at this pressure, at this condition. So this is equal to UF plus X UG minus UF. Okay, so if you are able to find out X, you will get your answer. अगर आपको X आ जाएगा, आपका आंसर आ जाएगा. But from where and how you will get X? अब X कहाँ से आएगा बच्चों? For X, guys, you need to compare V1 equal to Vc. Because 1 to 2 is actually kind of constant process, constant volume process. So what is the volume here? V1. What is the volume here? V2, and that is going to remain constant. Specific volume you can write because mass is already constant in a closed container. So volume is constant, mass is constant, so specific volume will also be constant. V1 equal to V2 equal to Vc. So what is Vc, guys? This is given to us. I can write it as 0.003155. Okay, and this I can write it as somewhere here Vf plus X Vg minus Vf. Okay, so from the data given here, you can write it as 0.0010605 plus X into Vg. Vg is 0.8857 minus Vf. Vf is this 0.001605. Okay, equal to what? 0.00355. Okay, so let me make a line here. So X easily you will be able to find out. What is X? X is the quality here, the dryness fraction here, initial stage, because that is constant. Because if you know the X, easily you will get the initial internal energy, and then by subtracting the final internal energy minus initial internal energy, you will get the heat transfer. So let me simplify this, guys, for you. 0.003155 minus 0.0010605, and you need to divide this by 0.8857 minus 0.0010605. So if you will carry out this simplification, guys, you will get X equal to 2.3676 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 3. So this is the X value you are going to get. Okay, and if you will put this X value here, guys, अगर मैं इस X को यहाँ put कर देता हूँ, so U initial equal to UF. UF is what, guys? What is UF? UF is this 504.49 plus X. We calculated X 2.3676 multiplied by 10 to the power minus 3 into UG. UG is 2529.5 minus 504.49. So very simply, very easily you will get U1 out of this, guys. तो U1 निकाल लेते हैं, इसको simplification करते हैं. 2529.5 minus 504.49 plus 504.49. So if you will simplify this, guys, U1 you will get 509.2844 kilojoule per kg. And then this value if you will put it here, guys, अगर इस value को मैं यहाँ put कर देता हूँ 2029.6 minus U1 multiply by 2, you will get the heat transfer 3040. Exact value you are going to get 3040.63 kilojoule. This is the amount of heat transfer you are going to get, because mass is already given to us 2 kg. So UC minus U1, how you will get? UC in specific term kilojoule per kg minus U1 again in kilojoule per kg multiply by mass 2 kg, which is fixed. You will get the heat transfer, because in a closed container the heat transfer equal to change in internal energy. So we obtain that value, and if you will match our answer, option B is the right answer. 3040.6 is the right answer for this question. So please check and you can match your answer. Okay, option B is the right answer for this question, guys. Let us now move to next question, question number 170. The equation of state for a certain gas V equal to RT by P minus C1 by T square plus C2, where C1 is given to us 50,000 Kelvin square meter cube per kg, and C2 is also given to us 0.8. The relationship del H by del P at constant T, that is equal to V minus T del V by del T at constant P, is known for the gas. The inversion temperature for this condition. For this condition, what is inversion temperature? So he is asking you the inversion temperature. is asking you the inversion temperature and condition is also given to us. So the question is very simple and direct, guys. So if you will simplify this, first del H by del P at constant T, if you will equate it equal to 0, so this is nothing but what? V minus T del V by del T at constant P. So simply you need to solve this, but from where, how you will be able to solve this? From this equation. So let me solve this equation, guys. V equal to RT by P minus C1 by T square plus C2. So let me differentiate this, del V by del T, keeping pressure constant. So you will get R by P, because pressure is constant, I am differentiating it with respect to T. So minus, this is T ki power minus 2, you will get a plus 2 C1 by T cube. Okay, because if you take it upside, you will get T ki power minus 2. So minus 2 minus, it will become plus, minus 2 into T ki power minus 2 minus 1, you will get T cube. Okay, in the denominator. This is 0. So let me put this value here. So 0 equal to V. V is nothing but, this is small v, guys. This is also small v. So V is equal to what? V is equal to RT by P minus RT by P minus C1 by T square plus C2 minus T into this, T into entire term, guys, T into entire term. So T into del V by del T at constant P, that is equal to RT by P plus 2 C1 by T square. So I am writing this term, guys, T multiplied by del V by del T at constant P. So then you will get this term. So let me put this term here, minus, so this will become RT by P. This also will become minus 2 C1 by T square. So further, if you will simplify this, guys, this will cancel out, and here you will get what? This if you will take it this side, you will get 3 C1 by T square, that is equal to C2. So further simplification, you will get T square equal to 3 C1 by C2. Okay, so let me put this here, 3 into C1. What is C1, guys? What is C1 given to us? The C1 is given to us 50,000, C2 is 0.8. So 50,000 divided by 0.8. This is actually T square. ये क्या आएगा? T square. So let me solve so that we will get the final temperature value. So 3 multiplied by 50,000 divided by 0.8. You will get this 187,500, and if you will take under root of this, you will get 433.0127. Obviously the answer will come out in Kelvin. Answer किस में आएगा बच्चों? Kelvin में. So let's see which option is matching. 433 option B is the right answer. Let me also match my answer, guys. This is question number 170, and yes, this is the right answer. Option B is the right answer for this question. So very simple, direct question, guys. Only you need to carry out some kind of mathematical analysis. So V is given to us. He has given you this condition. This is the condition. For this condition, he's asked you the inversion temperature. What is inversion temperature? Let me tell you that. This is where your inversion curve. If you plot different isenthalpic curve on the temperature versus pressure diagram, you will have an inversion point. The inversion point where that the slope is going to change. Initially you will have that negative slope, okay, in the region, left region, in that inversion curve, right region you will have negative slope, and in the left region you will have positive slope, okay, and in the positive slope region you are going to get the cooling effect, in the negative slope region you are going to get the heating effect. So the point where you are having that slope changing, so where the mu 0, that point is known as inversion point. So various isenthalpic curve, if you will plot such that you will have different inversion points, so if you will join all those different inversion points, so you will have a curve. So that curve is known as inversion curve. Okay, the locus of all the inversion points passing through different isenthalpic curves, that is known as an inversion curve. So the inversion curve, where it is cutting the temperature axis, that point is known as maximum inversion temperature. So guys, for a gas, if the maximum inversion temperature is very high, for that gas, in most of the condition you will get in the left of the inversion curve. So if you will carry out the throttling of a gas for which maximum inversion temperature is very high, so you will be easily able to get the cooling effect. But if the inversion temperature of a gas is low, means at atmospheric condition, if you will carry out the throttling of that gas, due to low inversion temperature, its mu will be negative and you will get the heating effect. So for some of the gases like helium, neon, the mu, Joule-Thomson coefficient is negative, or what you can say, the maximum inversion temperature is very low. So these are some basic detail. So I hope this question is very much clear to you. Solving this easily, you will get temperature 433.012, means option B is the right answer for this question. Okay guys, so this is next question in front of us, question number 171. Let me zoom it for you guys. The maximum pressure and temperature in an air standard diesel cycle are this. So maximum pressure, maximum temperature are given to us. If the minimum pressure and minimum temperature are this respectively, then what is the cutoff ratio? So let me first draw here the diesel cycle on the PV diagram. So on PV diagram you can draw diesel cycle something like this. So constant pressure heat addition, constant volume rejection, and something like this. So 1 to 2 is isentropic compression process, 2 to 3 constant pressure heat addition, and 4 to 1 is the constant volume, 3 to 4 isentropic expansion, 4 to 1 constant volume heat rejection. So this is heat addition at constant pressure, this is heat rejection at constant volume, this is isentropic compression, this is isentropic expansion. So guys, let me write it here, the data which is given to us. P max equal to P3 equal to P2 equal to 44 bar. Why? Because 2 to 3 is a constant pressure process. Pressure P2 equal to P3, and P3, this is the point guys where you are going to get the point after the heat addition, constant pressure heat addition. So this is the point 3 which is going to give us, which actually represents the maximum temperature, maximum pressure condition, because at the end of the heat addition you are going to get maximum temperature, maximum pressure. Okay, so this is data which is given to us, and other than this, T3 equal to T max, this is also given to us, which is 1600 Kelvin. Now he has also given you the minimum temperature, T minimum equal to T1, which is 300 Kelvin, and P minimum equal to P1, which is equal to 1 bar. Okay, now let's see what he's asking you. He's asking you the cutoff ratio. What is the cutoff ratio? What is cutoff ratio, guys? Cutoff ratio is the volume at the end of the heat addition process divided by the volume before the heat addition process, V3 by V2. This ratio is known as cutoff ratio, and this is nothing but this is equal to T3 by T2. How you can say? Because 2 to 3 is a constant pressure process, pressure constant, and for any constant pressure process, you know, V by T equal to constant. Okay. For a constant pressure process, V by T equal to constant, or we can write it here, V3 by T2, sorry, V2 by T2, V2 by T2, that is equal to V3 by T3, or from this we can write V3 by T3, V3 by V2, V3 by V2, that is equal to T3 by T2. So guys, simply, very simple, if you want to find out this cutoff ratio, so this cutoff ratio is nothing but, the cutoff ratio is nothing but V3 by V2, and this is nothing but T3 by T2. So T3 is already given to us, 1600 Kelvin. So if you are able to find out T2, you will get your answer in second. So from where you are going to get T2? So guys, for the process 1 to 2, for process 1 to 2, isentropic compression process, you can write it here, T2 by T1 equal to P2 by P1 ki power gamma minus 1 by gamma. Okay, so T2 equal to T1, T1 is equal to 300. What is P2, guys? P2 equal to P3, because P2 equal to P3, which is 44 bar. So you can write it here 44. What is P1? P1 is the minimum pressure, which is 1 bar, power 1.4 minus 1 divided by 1.4. Solving this, you will get your T2. So let me solve it for you guys. So 44, 1.4 divided by 1.4, 44 power this, multiply by 300, you will get 884.46 Kelvin. The answer you are going to get in Kelvin only. And now if you will put this value here, 1600 divided by 884.46, you will get the cutoff ratio. You will get the cutoff ratio, guys. So I am getting the answer, which you can also check, 1.809. 1.809. This is the cutoff ratio I am getting. You also can check your answer. Okay guys, so I am getting 1.809, so exact D is matching with this, so I will go with option D as the right answer. Very simple direct question, guys. Some little bit calculation is there, but there is no such difficult concept. Very simple direct question. I hope this is very much clear to all. Let us now move to, guys, next question, question number 172. The thermal efficiency of a air standard Brayton cycle is 30.3. So 35% means this is the thermal efficiency, guys. Efficiency of simple Brayton, thermal efficiency of simple Brayton, and this is nothing but 1 minus 1 by Rp power gamma minus 1 by gamma. This is the formula, guys. I hope this is very clear to all of you. The thermal efficiency of a Brayton cycle, simple Brayton, 1 minus 1 by Rp ki power gamma minus 1 by gamma. So this is given to us 0.35. So you can write it here 1 by Rp power gamma minus 1 by gamma. This is equal to 0.65. Okay. So from this you can write Rp power gamma minus 1 by gamma, that is equal to 1 by 0.65. Okay. So solving this easily you will get Rp. So Rp equal to 1 by 0.65. Power gamma means 1.4 because air standard Brayton cycle, so gamma is 1.4, divide by gamma minus 1, you will get 0.4. Okay, here I am reversing the power, guys, because if you take both side this power, both side if you take power gamma by gamma minus 1, so this side power will be cancelled out and this side you will get gamma by gamma minus 1. Okay, so let me solve it for you guys. So 1 by 0.1 divided by 0.65, and this power you need to take 1.4 divided by 0.4, so I'm getting 4.516. Exact answer I'm getting, guys, 4.5165. So this is the pressure ratio for this question. Very simple direct question, halwa question hai, and I think all of you are getting the answer for this question. 4.516, option A is the right answer for this question. Let us now move to next question, guys. Question number 173. Steam is isentropically expanded in a turbine from 80 bar to 7 bar. So this is the initial pressure in the steam turbine, this is the final pressure. At the inlet of the turbine, enthalpy and entropy are given. At the inlet, okay, and at the exit means 7 bar pe he has given you, because 7 bar exit condition, exit of the turbine, that will lie in the wet region. So in the wet region he has given you the specific property of the saturated liquid and saturated vapor. Okay, so now he is asking you the enthalpy at the exit of the turbine. What is the enthalpy at the exit of the turbine? Very simple. H2 अपने को निकालना है, and you know H2 will lie in the wet region. So this is equal to what? HF plus X, Hg minus HF. So all things are given to us. HF are given, Hg, HF all are given to us. So if you know the X, dryness fraction at the exit, you will get the answer. Again, very simple direct question, guys. So from where you are going to get X? You know expansion in the turbine. Isentropic expansion in the turbine is what? Expansion in the turbine is isentropic. Isentropic. Isentropic का मतलब क्या होता है बच्चों? Entropy at the entry of the turbine S1, that is equal to S2. So what is S1? S1 is given to us. This is S1, 6.52. What is S2? S2 I can write it as SF plus X, Sg minus Sf. In the wet region, I can write entropy something like this. So let me put all the values so that we will get the X value. So SF is what, guys? This 2 plus X, we want to find out Sg, which is 6.7 minus SF is 2. Solving this, you will get the X value. इसको solve करोगे बच्चों, X आ जाएगा आपके पास. Dryness fraction or the quality of the steam at the exit of the turbine. So 6.7 minus 2, 4.7, and this 4.52, if you will divide it by this, you will get the quality close to 96%, 0.9617. So this is the quality I am getting. Okay, and if you will put this value here, guys, इस value को अगर मैं यहाँ put कर दूँ, so HF is 697 plus 0.9617 into Hg is 2763 minus 697. So very easily, very simply, you will get enthalpy at the exit. So 2763 minus 697 plus 697, I am getting 2683. So this is the enthalpy, guys, you are going to get at the exit of the turbine. Let me write it here, 2683.87 kilojoule per kg. Kilojoule per kg. This is the enthalpy I am getting. So option A is the right answer for this question. Option A is the right answer, guys. Very simple direct question. Let us now move to, guys, next question, question number 174. A thin insulating membrane separates two tanks. So there are two tanks, guys. This is tank 1, this is tank 2. Tank 1 is filled with nitrogen. These are number of moles of the nitrogen, 0.8 moles, 2 bar, 350 Kelvin. These are the number of moles of carbon dioxide, 1 bar, 300 Kelvin. So what he has mentioned, guys, that membrane is ruptured and gases are allowed to mix. So it is a case of mixing. Mixing का case आपको दे रहा है, and you finally are getting a homogeneous mixture at equilibrium. During this process, there is no heat transfer, there is no work transfer. Generally, also we consider mixing as a very fast process, and in mixing there is no such heat transfer. Okay, generally we consider mixing as a adiabatic process. So it is given also there is no heat transfer, there is no heat transfer, there is no work transfer. So this is actually a closed container. So if you write it here, dq equal to du plus dw. So dq equal to 0 equal to du plus dw. So du is also 0, guys. From this, very simply you can write du equal to 0. Okay, because there is no heat transfer, there is no work transfer, so internal energy is also going to remain constant, or what you can say, initial internal energy ui equal to u final. Ui equal to u final. Okay, so let's see what he's asking you in this question, guys. The tank, between the tank contents, the final temperature, guys, they are asking you the final temperature. So very simply you will get the final temperature using this equation only, u initial equal to u final. Okay, so let me tell you how to get the final temperature. What is u initial, guys? U initial is nothing but the initial internal energy for the this and this, because initially this is actually a separate system, this is actually a separate part. Okay, this entire is our system, this entire container is our system. So internal energy of nitrogen individually first, internal energy of this, these are the initial internal energy. Final internal energy will be the internal energy of the mixture. Okay, so you can write it here. U initial is what? This is the internal energy for the nitrogen. So internal energy for the nitrogen plus internal energy for the carbon dioxide initial. Okay, so that is equal to initial energy of nitrogen plus CO2 mixture final. Okay, so this you can write it as, इसको आप ऐसे भी लिख सकते हो. What is internal energy, guys? This we can write it as, because at a particular point, suppose we consider some kind of reference state as 0 degree Celsius. So considering 0 degree Celsius as the reference state, or 0 Kelvin as the reference state, we can define the internal energy. How? As mc dt or mcv dt. Okay, so here number of moles are given, so it is better to write this equation as mcv dt, ncv dt, where n are the number of moles and cv is the molar specific heat at constant volume and T is the temperature. dt means the final temperature, means T, the temperature which you are having this time. Initial temperature is the reference state 0 Kelvin. So I am writing this directly only, I am writing this as un, number of moles of nitrogen, n1, because this I am writing it as 1, n1 CV1 into T1, T1 is what? 350 Kelvin, plus N2, number of moles of carbon dioxide, CV2 into T2 equal to N total number of moles, CV of the mixture into T final. So this is the master equation, guys, final equation. From this equation easily you are going to get the answer. Okay, so let us see what data is actually given to us. क्या data अपने को given है? Data क्या given है बच्चों अपने को? N1 number of moles of nitrogen, these are 0.8, so you can write it here 0.8 into CV1. CV1 is also given to us, is 21.6, this is 21.6. T1 is also given to us, T1 is, for this the T1 is 350, okay, plus N2. What is N2? N2 is 0.2, CV2 is 11.6 multiplied by T2 is this 300 Kelvin. How many number of moles, guys? Number of moles N1 plus N2, that will be that are going to give you the total number of moles. इसके कितने number of moles है? 0.8. This is having number of moles 0.2. So 0.8 plus 0.2 you will get 1. So N are the final number of moles. This is CV of the mixture into T final. So if you want to find out T final, only one thing is required, that is CV of the mixture. So from where you are going to get the CV of the mixture? So CV of the mixture, or this you can write it as CV equivalent. So this is nothing but x1 CV1 plus x2 CV2. Okay, and or this is, because this is the mole fraction of 1, this is mole fraction of 2, or this you can write it as N1 CV1 plus N2 CV2 divided by N1 plus L2. It means same only. Why? Because N1 by N1 plus N2, that is X1, N2 by N1 plus N2, that is known as N1 by N1 plus N2, that is X1, mole fraction of the 1 means nitrogen, N2 by N1 plus N2, that is mole fraction of the carbon dioxide. Okay, so if you will put all the values here, guys, so what are total number of moles? Total number of moles are 1. And how many moles for nitrogen? 0.8. So 0.8 divided by 1 means 0.8 is itself is the mole fraction for the nitrogen. So 0.8 multiplied by CV1, CV1 is 11.6 plus, 21.6, this is 21.6 plus x2 again 0.2 divided by 1, you will get 0.2 only. So 0.2 multiplied by 11.6, you will get CV of the mixture. Equivalent, because this is required, otherwise you will not get exact answer. Exact answer nahi aayega. So 0.2 multiplied by 11.6 plus 0.8 multiplied by 21.6, you will get the answer 19.6 joule per mole Kelvin. 19.6 joule per mole Kelvin. So guys, if you will put this value here, now this value, if you will put 19.6, you will get the final temperature very easily and quickly. So let me solve it for you guys. 0.8 multiplied by 21.6, again multiply by 350. So this value is going to get, you will get 6048. Let me solve this also. 0.2 multiplied by 11.6 multiply by 300. So this you will get 696. So let me add 6048 divide by 19.6. So you will get the final temperature 344.0816. Okay, or you can write this final temperature as 344.1 Kelvin. So this is the final temperature, guys. I hope this answer is very much clear and all of you are getting this answer. Final temperature 344 is the final temperature for this question. So option A is the right answer, guys. Option A क्या हो जाएगा बच्चों? This is the right answer for this question. Okay, let us now move to next question, guys. Question number 175. Question number 175. So there are two most air stream, MAS1 and MAS2. There are two most air streams. So this is MAS1 and this is MAS2. These are the two most air stream. They are mixing, okay, adiabatically, means there is no such heat transfer from the outside. They are only mixing, they are only exchanging heat. There is no such heat transfer from the outside. So this is 1, this is 2, and this I am writing it as 3. So here the enthalpy, specific volume, flow rate are given. What is asking? He is asking the exit enthalpy. What is the exit enthalpy? Very simple, guys, direct question. So guys, this easily you will be able to solve from the energy balance. What is energy balance for these type of question? You can write the energy balance as M1H1 plus M2H2 equal to M3H3, or you can write it as something like this also. M1H1, M1 means the mass flow rate, M1 dot H1, M2 dot H2, that is equal to M3 dot H3. Okay, so H1, H2 all are given. M1, M2, M3 also easily you will get, because M3 is nothing but M1 plus M2, because you can write the mass balance also. This is mass balance. This we are getting from the mass balance. So how to find out the M1, guys? M1 equal to, you know guys, density equal to mass per unit volume. So the mass flow rate equal to density into volume flow rate, or what you can say, mass flow rate equal to volume flow rate divided by specific volume. Mass flow rate equal to volume flow rate by specific volume. So this is volume flow rate, this is volume flow rate, okay, and this is specific volume. So simply you need to divide this by this, you will get the mass flow rate. Okay, so let me write it here, M1. So M1 is nothing but the volume flow rate, which is 85 divided by specific volume 0.85. Simply for this M2 dot equal to the volume flow rate, which is 90 divided by 0.9. Okay, so easily you will get your answer. So let me solve. 85 divided by 0.85. Okay, so yes, but here guys, this is actually given to us in meter cube per minute. This is given to us in meter cube per minute. So this, if you want this in kg per second, अगर अपने को ये kg per second में चाहिए, so this volume flow rate we need to put in kg per meter cube per second, and this is in kg per meter cube per kg. This is a specific volume meter cube per kg. This is fine, but volume flow rate you need to write in meter cube per second. So let me divide this by 60 also, and let me divide this also by 60, because we want mass flow rate in kg per second. So let me divide, guys. 85 divided by 0.85, and then if you will divide it by 60, you will get 1.666. Okay, 7 आप लिख सकते हो. So this also you will get 1.6667. So M1 we know, M2 we know, guys, and H1, H2 are also given to us. So if you'll put all the values, M1, which is 1.6667, into H1 is given to us, this H1 is 42, okay, plus M2, which is 1.6667, multiply by this H2, 80, and this is equal to what, guys? 2 into 1.6667 into H3. Because what is M3? M3 is nothing but M1 plus M2, both are same, so I'm just multiplying by 2 into this. Okay, 2 into this. So if you will simplify this, guys, divide by this term, this will cancel out. So 42 plus 80, you will get 122. Divide by 2, 122 divided by 22, you will get H3 equal to 61 kilojoule per kg. 61 kilojoule per kg. Very simple direct question, guys, and I hope this is very clear to all. And option B is the right answer, guys, for this question. Option B क्या हो जाएगा बच्चों? This is the answer for this question. Okay, option B is the right answer for this question. Let me place again this question in front of you, guys. Question number 175. Okay, and I think this is the second last question, and now finally we reached to our last question. Question number 176. For the today's session it is last, but again we will meet and we will solve some more questions from the year 2013 and 12. Consider the steady state flow of air through a insulated nozzle. So there is a nozzle, guys. Generally we draw nozzle something like this. On the expense of pressure energy, we increase the kinetic energy. So this is a kind of nozzle. This is entry, this is exit. Okay, so it is mentioned that there is no heat transfer. It is adiabatic insulated nozzle. There is no heat transfer. In nozzle there is no work transfer also. So if you write the steady flow energy equation for the nozzle, you can write it as H1 plus C1 square by 2 plus ZZ1 plus Q. This is equal to H2 plus C2 square by 2 plus ZZ2 plus WCV. So in this case, as you know, there is no work transfer, there is no heat transfer also. We can neglect the changes in potential energy. So we can write the C2 square by 2. Also, let me see what mentioned about the inlet energy. So inlet velocity, so it is mentioned inlet velocity is also very small. Inlet velocity is also very small, so we can assume this is also 0. This is also 0, very small. This is 0, this is 0, this is 0, this is 0. But this we are not saying 0. Both are comparable, both are almost equal, because the changes in potential energy is less. So both are comparable. Okay, so C2 square by 2, you can write it as H1 minus H2. So guys, in this case, if you are using the SI unit joule per kg, then there is no such conversion required. Okay, so H1 is the inlet enthalpy, H2 is the exit enthalpy. So let me check what data is given to us. What he has mentioned, consider a steady flow of air. He has mentioned steady flow of air. So air we can consider it as an ideal gas. So then we can write it as Cp T1 minus T2. Cp T1 minus T2. Okay, so this is the inlet temperature, this is the inlet temperature, this pressure, this temperature. Exit pressure is this. So exit temperature is not given to us. Exit temperature is not given to us, but it is given the expansion in the turbine is reversible adiabatic. Reversible adiabatic. So then easily you can write T2 by T1. This is equal to P2 by P1 power gamma minus 1 by gamma. So you can write it here T2 equal to T1. What is T1, guys? T1 equal to 320 multiply by what is P2? P2 is 1 bar. What is P1? P1 is 120 kilopascal. So this is 1 bar. So you can write it as 100 kilopascal. This is P1, 100 kilopascal. This is 120 kilopascal. Power gamma minus 1 means 0.4 divided by 1.4. So solving this, you will get the T2 value. Temperature at the exit. Very simple relationship we are applying. So let me write it here, 100 divided by 120, and if you will take the power of this 0.4 divided by 1.4 multiply by 320, you will get the exit temperature equal to 303.757 Kelvin. This is T2 guys, slightly lower than the initial temperature. Okay, Cp for the air is 1.005 kilojoule per kg. So but you need to use all SI unit guys, because these are the specific energy. All terms in the steady flow energy equation, they are representing the specific energies per unit mass. Okay, so here C2 square by 2, that is equal to Cp for air. This is 1.005 into 10 to the power 3 into T1. T1 is 320 minus T2 is 303.75. So let us solve, and easily you will get the exit velocity C2. By solving this, easily you will get the exit velocity. So let me solve guys. 320 minus 303.75 multiply by 1.005 multiply by 1000 multiply by 2, and then you need to take under root of this entire. You will get C2 exit velocity equal to 180.7276 meter per second. Okay, 180.7276 meter per second. This is the exit velocity guys we are getting in this question. Okay, chaliye, let me also match my answer, and I hope this is very right. Yes, 180.7, this is the right answer for this question. So 188.7, option B is the right answer. So guys, for these kind of question, actually you need to focus on the key points. What he mentioned steady flow in the nozzle, so steady flow equation we can use. He mentioned reversible adiabatic expansion, so we can use this equation. He mentioned that there is a kind of insulated nozzle, so there is no heat transfer, there is no work transfer. But in actual case, you can get some kind of problem like this also. In some cases, he can give you some kind of heat transfer. So don't consider all the times the process as reversible adiabatic. In some cases, he can provide you some kind of heat transfer also. So accordingly, you need to use the data. Okay, but in this case, as it is mentioned, there is no heat transfer. There also in nozzle there is no work transfer. So accordingly, we used all this data and we solved it very easily. 180.7. So I hope all these 22 questions guys which we have discussed in the today's session, these are very much clear to you. So once again we will meet and we will solve the paper 2014 also. So keep revising the things, and if you face any kind of difficulty or understanding in any concept, if you face any kind of difficulty, you can reach to me very easily. You can call me or you can WhatsApp me also. Thank you very much. Have a nice day and keep preparing. Good luck.